my point is this: I don't want only Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I would also like the Daniel Bryan and CM Punks. I would also like the Kevin Owens to still be a pipeline for that. And that's all I'm saying. Can you spot an AJ Gray out there? Because if you can, then props to WWE, and you still got it. If you don't, over time it's going to become okay, land of giants and cookie cutters of what you guys wanted, and it's still going to work.
AJ
It's still
Gray
going to
is
make
a
money.
giant. AJ Gray will come in and like operate in the land of the giants.
AJ is a giant who's a great, phenomenal professional wrestler. There's a difference. You know, I don't want somebody you have to teach to be a Braun Strowman, and then you guys have Braun Strowman figuring that you know what at this time he has a little doubt to himself because he's not actually crafted his thing, and then he was told to go out there and be a giant all the time. I want people who have the craft of it still as well. I'm not saying that there's not a need or want for Braun Strowman.
But the trainers there are craftsmanships.
I love the spectacle of that.
The trainers are craftsmen.
There's certain things you can't teach though. When it comes to when it comes to when somebody wants something in life, you can't teach that to somebody. So they're gonna find out, and the people are gonna find their own style in there. But there's a difference to harnessing your style through the indies, and I do respect that still, and I hope WWE respects that still too. That's all I'm trying to say, because the NIL does great. I'm happy for the kids. Like I was giving it props, but when you talk about and AJ Gray, I'm gonna say, can they spot one in the crowd? Can they still do that?
I'm saying they're in the process of doing that right now.
None of those guys are an AJ Gray at the crowd.
But AJ Gray was a college athlete who was groomed in professional wrestling. That is what these niggas are doing right now.
So you don't see.
Okay, you're saying that WWE is in professional wrestling. You're just cultivating into
here's what I'm saying is like it's formulaic, man. That's it. It's cool. It's not bad to say that. WWE is formulaic. Even when Samoa Joe's and Daniel Bryan and CM got to go there, they got to tone down their style. But you can still see that these guys go a little bit different. They get busy in this wrestling shit. So you can count on them to have a good professional wrestling match consistently. There's sometimes you're going to see a Braun Strowman have a great match, and then you'll go 8 months without seeing Braun Strowman have a good match. We've been through that. Let's not even try to trip. But even Roman, he'll have a great match, go sometime where he's just not on TV, or he's at that point where he doesn't need to be on TV as much. But he has good matches when he needs to have them, but he has matches where it's like, that was just formulaic Roman match.
Okay, so you want to match every match. Ric Flair had a formulaic match, but he's one of the greatest champions of wrestlers of his generation. And I'm just trying to figure out WWE has a formulaic style. Yes, I'm not arguing that. But you cannot tell me that everybody wrestles the same. That is unfair to the professionals and the people that go out there.
My point is like when I see, I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I see a Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, marquee name on the bill, I have a shot at this being a classic match. I feel that when I see that. When I see Seth Rollins versus Edge, and I tune in and it's exactly what I thought it would be, I'm excited because you took a guy who was homegrown from your system, paired him with a guy who came from the Indies that also came through your system, but also has the heart and soul of wrestling. So I know these two dudes love this shit. In a match, great match happens. Daniel Bryan, every time he steps into a ring, is a potential for magic because he comes from a place of art craftsmanship when it comes to wrestling. There's other people who, when it comes to wrestling, they come from a place of let's get from point A to point B and get to the finish.
Well, that's my conversation I want to have with you with journalism, right? There is a difference between someone who takes the craftsmanship of journalism, right? Mm-hmm. Or the people who are content creators. Because that's what you're looking at right now.
Yeah.
We are now in a generation where, Chidi, nobody in the last 20 years of watching wrestling has got consistent professional wrestling without it being entertainment first. So now you're getting a generation of wrestlers who put entertainment first, right? And now comparing that
Exactly.
to journalism, you have people that come out and put entertainment first rather than the artment. So this is just the growth of where we are. Entertainment first rather than the artment. So this is just the growth of where we are. Now you may have some diamonds in the roughs, like a Shams, who's 26 years old and fucking going up against Adrian Rose breaking stories because he has a relationship on both sides of player and management and not just Woj, who kind of skews towards management a little bit. And that's how he's breaking in the game because he's a young buck and he kind of understands. You say MJF, he has a gift of understanding old school wrestling. We may not know where that's going to come from because we don't know where these people get their inspiration from. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So with that being said, when you were talking about WWE have is formulaic, yes. And it's formulaic because they fell in love with what made them money, which was entertainment. We weren't coming to wrestling. Bret Hart was your favorite wrestler, yes. But once Bret Hart left, you stayed. And you didn't stay for particularly the Bret Hart form of wrestling. You stayed because of the entertainment that they provided you. And you stayed for 20 years after that because of the entertainment that they have provided you, mixed with your love of professional wrestling.
We always go to the point where it's when we have these conversations, it goes to the point of are you watching or not? And I get the question. It's great. It's a great to get somebody in the corner and to say, "Are you watching or not?" Then you should just accept it all. And yes,
no, not accept it all. No,
I get it. So when it comes to where if I stayed or not, yeah, I stayed. I watched it for the entertainment. But when I'm talking about the craftsmanship, I like a blend in my wrestling. And not talk about that with all companies. I'm saying that they should pick up Braun at AEW because he brings that entertainment value. I'm not saying that he's
hold on. Well, listen, Braun Breaker came through the system. Never professional wrestler. Never. You said he should be NXT champion.
Yeah.
The most precious thing that you love about professional wrestling, which is NXT, you said a non-wrestler.
But guess what? I'll tell you right now. If they were to bring Jacob Fatu, I would say he would be champion over him. That's my opinion. That's the thing about me. Like it's a matter of what you have on your roster right now. I'm gonna keep it real. Braun, it's not like I have no value for entertainment. I have a lot of value for the way WWE does what they do. A lot. I hold that at high value because they are the best at what they do. Professional wrestling. They bring it to an entertainment value that transcends just professional wrestling. It goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, the entertainment value is crazy.
Yeah, it goes to freaking sports, everything. Everything is wrestling, So when it comes down to it, I also have a real firm love for the craftsmanship in it. So when I go to a For the Culture and I see JTG go through freaking light tubes and all this shit, I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking fire, yo. And when I see AJ Gray have great matches and Rich Swann and Leo Rush go out there and tear it down and low key tear it down. I love that. I love There's Lockout has a whole vibe about him.
Shout out
Revolutionary.
To that nigga.
I have an appreciation for that too at the same time. So there's a duality in how I look at wrestling. I'm gonna be real. It's like a yin and yang thing. So there are times where I'm gonna be like, yes, Braun Strowman should be that nigga. There's gonna be other times where I'm gonna be like, no, this guy over here, if you give him the right presentation, like a Jacob Fatu, he could be a huge major star for years to come if they were to take him and put him in NXT. So when I look at, and then we can go back to the journalism in a second.
No, when Fatu comes in, he will have to adapt to the system.
Absolutely.
And those who are able to adapt are those who are able to transcend.
Absolutely.
Those are the niggas that fucking are made for it. Period.
Okay.
That's plain.
So it doesn't matter if you came from the Indies. It don't
matter.
And that's I hear your argument.
If you can persevere that, if you can make it, if you can persevere that, if you can overcome what it is that is going to be, because adaptability is everything. It's not just life. We talk about free agents coming to a team. Odell Beckham didn't adapt in Cleveland like he's adapting in Los Angeles. Right? We look at Sheldon Richardson, your D tackle that left the Jets. He made a couple stats before he had the that right, and we like, damn, a run stopper like that can't fucking find a hole. It's adaptability.
Mhm.
You know
You
what
gotta
I'm
be the
saying?
right fit, you know.
It gotta be, and if you transcend that, if you able can do that, and you still, if you can operate within the system and still be able to add your flair, no pun intended, because flair is not a fucking trained professional wrestler. Came through the fucking pipeline of what it is NXT or FCW. She is now the biggest heel in the women's division. You can put up against any fucking body in women's wrestling. I think Charlotte got them beat. And she had to learn from entertainment rather than professional. Like the professional wrestling comes because that's a natural fucking, that's why they go get athletes. We need a nigga that can't be stiff. You know what I'm saying? But
you gotta know how to hit the pocket in the right moment, the right time, the right place.
you gotta have that
you
twitch,
gotta have that
you gotta have
factor.
that. You know what I mean?
And if you do if you do have that it factor, you're gonna be a star. Moving forward, when actually going forward, going back to the AJ Rick comment, my only thing is I wonder if WWE can still pinpoint that within the guys who are out there doing it.
Like as far as like outside. I mean, if they bring in Jacob Fatu, they see it, nigga. Like I mean, Jacob Fatu.
If they do,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what you're predicting. Like if Jacob Fatu, like no pun intended to like Jacob Fatu and AJ Gray, I think like they're two dogs, but like you know Jacob Fatu's there. So if Jacob comes in, I think they have that eye. Like, I'm sorry, I am going to bypass an AJ Gray if I can get a Jacob Fatu, because there is no need for me to have two horses on my roster at the same time, because that means that's just, I'm pigeonholed then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. There's always decisions to be made. But the analogy I was trying to make is just that guy who's been busting his ass on the indies, whether it be
I think when Jacob,
MLW,
I think when Jacob comes,
there's some guys who are in AEW that I would poach if I was WWE. Dead ass. You know, there's a lot of few of them, and even in ROH, there's some people. You know, you got Grisham who just won the ROH championship. Shout out to him. Great match. And so there's a lot.
Jonathan Grisham, Kenny King.
Kenny King
can come to NXT and fucking just
I don't
collect
know
the check.
I'm not sure what his relationship is with WWE, but if I were him, I'll sign NXT. He would be great.
Fuck that. Bring Kenny King and bring him up with fucking MVP and Bobby.
Oh, that would be ill.
Come on.
BDC back.
Bring that shit back, nigga.
Reunited. BDC.
Yo, you know what? This is what I'll do. Book and block. Real quick, impromptu, before we get out of here. Kenny King. He gets an NXT couple. He gets put in NXT. He has a couple matches. We see MVP come to Orlando and say, nah. My guy don't do the juniors. I'll see you Monday night. And you bring Kenny King up, suit and tied up next to fucking MVP. Want to I want to introduce everybody to Kenny King.
Kenny King has the potential to be one of the best heels in the business.
Woo!
The way he just talks his shit and he gets under the skin as a guy who just wants to just, you know, the guy who just mouthing off, and he's like, yo, this guy is just irritating. You know, he's guy when he was in BDC, he would mouth off on people, beat them down, and still be mouthing off like more than MVP ever. MVP talks trash, but Kenny King,
the nigga was the Black Sami Zayn times 10.
Yeah, he was
annoying, and he'll beat your ass. Yeah, and then talk shit while beating your ass. Yeah,
but so I believe that I would love to see him in WWE if he's cool with them, because I know that after Tough Enough, I think he was not feeling.
But business is business.
And it's been years. It's about time to see him come back, and if he reunited, brought him in with Bobby, it would cause a Twitter blow up. I'm telling you, if Kenny King interfered in Bobby's match and he helped him win the championship or something, Twitter would go crazy. I'm telling you, if you guys are on the pulse, there's things that you guys can do. So I'm wondering if they're on the pulse that way, WWE with the guys who are out there. That's all I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel you, and I understand. I feel you. And now with that being said, though, when you say do WWE have a guy a guy possibly like an AJ Gray who was a college athlete but went and then perfected his craft outward and then came in.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, what they want to do, though, like you say, is bring them guys in so they don't have to train the recklessness out of them. You know what I mean?
And you
Because
guys been doing promo packages. You guys have done a pre-tape. These are things that matter. And it's when you bring in these guys that people can see, like, oh, so what was it like you on the Indies? If they've never been to the Indies, at least they can have a conversation with a Jacob Fatu, a conversation with an AJ Gray, because they say, hey, like when you did your packages on MLW, how did you guys go
well,
about
I
it?
mean,
Sharing that knowledge is valuable in NXT, I think.
well,
You
I
know?
mean, and that goes back to like I say, the trainer. Like we got Steve Carino, we got Norman Smiley, we got Shell MSK still down
Yeah,
there. You know what I
MSK
mean?
still
Like
there. I was just about to say
we
that.
got Tommaso
Yeah,
Tommaso as champion, as the bridge,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we like ultimately, I don't think they will ever lose touch with that. I don't think that. So that's why I'm saying when I talk about pessimistic, I don't think that should ever be a fear for the simple fact because
I got you.
Sean's still there. You know what I mean? Like Tripp is still there. Like those are the guys that built the faith that you have in it already. Regardless that Vince and Bruce is down
Here's
there.
what I'm saying. I think it's a little bit different than what you're hearing. The current space of independent wrestling over the past couple of years, the energy that we brought with MLW, the energy that was with the Bullet Club, the energy that was, that hardcore wrestling fan, they had it with NXT. They were able to cultivate it and usurp some of that energy. I think that attitude has to still be tapped into. Wherever you guys can find it.
I think
You
they and
know,
like I said, I think they will, but I
yeah.
think that was too much of their identity.
Okay, and that's
The
fine. And that's
independent
fine. Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
they
yeah.
were de facto PWG, right? They brought in a lot of the independent guys, and when you're talking about this goes sports analogy. When you get too many free agents, you be like, you know what? Let's strip this down and let's build from the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And ultimately, it's gonna have some growing pains,
Yeah.
but you don't know if you get a Steph Curry and a Klay Thompson. Nigga, Mark Jackson was coaching them niggas in 2013, and he said, I'm telling you right now, folks, I got the greatest shooting backcourt ever in history. And them niggas laughed that motherfucker out of a job, nigga.
Damn.
They laughed that nigga out of a job. He's commentating right now. Now there's some other media circumstance, but niggas
Yeah.
laughed at him like, nigga, what are you talking? Nigga, we talking about? Nigga, what are you talking about? It's Isaiah Joe Dumars. Them niggas are the greatest shoot. And sometimes it's scout analysis, right? You do have to have faith in your team, your William Regals, to still go find me talent.
Yeah.
You still have to be able to be like, like you say, like it's not going to be of old where they are poaching the independents because I do believe now, right? We talk about a la carte, right? YouTube TV does not have any Disney products. Why? Couldn't reach a term. So guess what, nigga? You gotta go get your shit where you can go get your shit. And WWE is acting in that same vein where they're saying like, or ESPN in that same vein where you're gonna come to us regardless because what we give you ultimately is what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things that we don't offer you, it's available elsewhere that you can get. You just won't get it here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And
You know.
as a consumer, we got to live with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
When it comes down to it, we only have to because that's where we're going. It's like, hey, if you're a fan of anime, you're gonna get Crunchyroll, and you're
bro,
gonna
if
sign up
you're a
for it.
fan of this motherfucking
You
new
know,
Spider-Man movie, guess what?
you're gonna
It's
have
not going
Disney.
on Disney.
Yeah.
It's going on Stars. So you're gonna have to
You're
get
going on stars.
yeah, 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 exactly.
What is going on? I don't
You
know.
gotta get a new app,
It's about to get real
nigga.
confusing here, but you got the WWE Network on Peacock. They're clearly an asset because they look at them as a show entity, as the whole company is like a show entity. So they're going to be on Peacock. And we're in this a la carte era, I mean, as a consumer, just buckle up because if you like a lot of different things like me, I like football, I like Marvel, I like wrestling, I like a lot of different sports. So I'm gonna have to have like 50 prescriptions, like just to get everything I need. I like film, like movies, I like TV shows.
But when it comes to
Like,
wrestling, that's the same thing. Look how many promotions is out there. They're not all giving you the same thing.
Yeah, but then they're gonna all have their own freaking streaming service, and I'm gonna be really fucked.
I mean, but that's
AEW got a streaming service, WWE got.
I mean, but this goes back to what I'm saying, right? The independents are doing that right now. You love the independents so much. You love what AJ Gray does right now. All right, cool. I'm gonna go try to make what I can make at WWE, that 100,000. I'm gonna do that independent, buy my independent shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where we are right now with wrestling, where niggas won't come or WWE can go approach them. The niggas might be like, yeah, you know, I'm good.
So yeah, you gotta go to where you want to get what you want, you know. And I didn't even tell you my take on the whole journalism stuff, because you just know what you want when you're journalism, because when you can sense who is an AEW journalist, or who is a women's wrestling journalist, or who is a WWE journalist. You can sense it, you know. And I think that journalism comes to just, hey, if you're just telling the facts, this person won this match, this person won that match, they had this show in this city, that's cool. It's not sexy, but you can do that too. You know, there's a place for that. You know, you got your people who want to, you know, work in WWE, so they want to be slighted towards WWE and watch their content and talk about their content and become a social media influencer with WWE content. That's a possibility to make money in this day and age, you know, and that's fine. But, you know, the just know where you stand, and understand that when you read other people's commentary on wrestling, it's from a bias, because like you said, you can get any wrestling anywhere. So that means there's any different pockets that you can be influenced on how you view wrestling.
Exactly.
On what you expect from it, what do you want to see from it. Me, I'll be honest with you, I was very influenced by the '90s. I was very influenced by NXT. I was very influenced by, you know, storytelling and the things they did with Undertaker and Kane growing up, things they did with Bret Hart and Owen Hart. Those are my influence. So I'm always going to have an angle that's storytelling-esque in a sense. I'm always going to have an influence of indie wrestling-esque, you know, because I've been an indie fan. You know, because over the course of my life, this is what made me watch wrestling. You know, so find what you love and support it. But when you're having a podcast and you're talking about something specific, I'm going to give you my opinion from that space of where I look at wrestling, and not to quell anybody else's opinion. It might be very stupid for me to be like, hey guys, you shouldn't expect The Rock as Survivor Series, but I think it's not stupid. You know, I think that you shouldn't expect The Rock as Survivor Series. That's how I see it. But somebody else sees that The Rock's on Survivor Series. You know what that tells me? People are excited to see The Rock. And that means that when he does come, people are going to be there to see it, and they're going to be excited. People are mad Bray Wyatt didn't show up at Winter is coming. You know what that tells me? People cannot wait for Bray Wyatt to show up again. And I'm one of them. So I'm not mad.
So you weren't upset?
I wasn't upset.
Okay, so you wasn't upset.
No, I wanted to see it. Like, okay. I was going into the show, I was hoping to see it. But I wasn't mad. You know, I wasn't mad. I was like,
but that's my thing, though. So if you can have that perception on, and I guess nobody does that, so it's unfair for me to ask. I try my best to have that thought process throughout.
I try, you know, but if we're talking about something from an honest perspective,
correct.
I honestly wasn't surprised. I wasn't like mad. I honestly wasn't mad. But in an honest perspective in other facets, I was honestly like, hey, I was, you know, disappointed with how they booked this in AEW or that. And the same thing with WWE. You know, I can look at it from a play perspective of, hey, I have my lens. It's only one lens that I see wrestling from.
Yeah,
if you want to hear me out, I have a take. You know, and I want you guys to have that perspective more often, because if people are on there, honestly, I feel like, you know, that's why I don't read much online, because I would be ranting on y'all every day if I was.
Well, don't you need to be?
No.
I shout out to Reasonable Rants coming soon.
I will be speaking my piece reasonably about wrestling, for sure. I'll leave the rest to my buddy over here, because he just be getting heated, and that's where you at in wrestling, you know. And I respect it, because sometimes it deserves a good old rant.
I mean, honestly, when you say people shouldn't feel a certain way, reasonably you can call somebody stupid. Absolutely,
no, you absolutely can call
somebody reasonably you can call somebody, and you can rant about it. Like, listen, it's stupid. I think the opinions.
I want to rant about the Jets fans though. That's what I'll do.
Well, listen.
But go ahead.
But that's my thing. Like, I think ultimately, like, I think, yeah, stupid is stupid.
Stupid is stupid.
Across the board.
Yeah.
So I believe that a stupid opinion one way is a stupid opinion another way. You know what I mean?
And we call reasonable wrestling for a reason. You know, that's how we. That's, you know, we don't. We're not stupid wrestling. You know, but if we were, we would have certain takes that represent stupid wrestling. And if you want to be that, go for it. But we'll be here to call you out on your stupid takes. But it's from a place of love, honestly. If you're really keeping it real. I honestly think it's hilarious when people get mad about Bray Wyatt not being here. I think it's hilarious when people get mad about The Rock. But is it stupid? Hey, it is. Because if you've been watching wrestling, you got to just wait for the payoff, you know? And it's not always going to be when you want it, you know? At the end of the day, we didn't pay $60 to watch Survivor Series, so I don't care. You know, back in the day, I would be pissed off if I paid $60 and he wasn't there. You know, but if you got Network already, you got Peacock already, you're there.
And some of y'all niggas talking about y'all ain't got Peacock, so I don't know how y'all watching. Y'all stealing anyway. So fuck y'all. Rock not getting no money.
The same way never watching Winners Coming and shit. That's just
no. I'm paying. YouTube TV come out that credit card.
Okay, no. We were watching that. I'm talking about Full Gear. Full Gear. So, hey, you know, everybody, you know, not paying $60 or paying whatever it is, the subscription fee for WWE. And I hear y'all. And if you're not putting the money where your mouth is, then how much can you say anyways? So, with that being said,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. All is love. Everything is wrestling.
Yo, we'll on a new schedule going into the new year.
Yes.
We'll be going Thursdays.
Throwing live Thursdays.
We'll do 2 live. We're doing 4 shows a month. We're doing weekly shows on Thursdays.
There'll be 2 on Patreon
and 2 on live.
2 on live on YouTube. So we'll be talking about wrestling every single week, giving our honest takes. You guys fuck with us. Thank you for supporting us. Or our EIW podcast. EIWshop.com for one of these t-shirts over here. You know, go to patreon.com, Reasonable Wrestling. If you guys want to support our content there. You know, RW Podcast on Twitter, Reasonable Wrestling everywhere else, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
We're gonna try to do a live stream of day 1 for New Year's. So you guys won't see us until then. We're gonna try to get everything situated, get OBS, trying to make sure we get everything good to go. And we're gonna try to do a live stream and watch day 1 and do a live reaction, and we'll post that video.
We'll be there.
So peace out.
Peace.
That was a great fucking.
We didn't even have a pre-show. We didn't even have a pre-show production.
That was a great fucking show, man. Great show, man.
Oh, we had some comments today that were actually good comments. So, anything, like, I look at that as, like, growth, man. You can end the live.
Oh, yeah, bet. We can end the live, and this can be behind the scenes.
Peace.